Requirements Engineering Workshop, with Use Cases. Course directed by Tonex Training. Price, $2,999. Length, 3 days. Requirements Engineering Workshop with Use Cases, Model-Based Requirements Engineering with Use Case. Requirements Engineering Workshop with Use Cases drives the advancement of a framework by seeing how the framework will be used, and after that helping framework specialists and undertaking chiefs for a proper framework to help the users. Figure out how to drive agile undertakings utilizing use cases in Requirements Engineering Workshop with Use Cases instructional class. Every one of the representatives will show use cases and framework approval cases in the start of the workshop. Requirements Engineering Workshop with Use Cases. Casual meanings of use cases in the investigation process. We present an approach supported by any device for use cases-based requirements engineering in the executives. Requirements Engineering Procedure based on use cases provide promising arrangements concerning the early abnormal state requirements gathering, issue managing, framework activity and ConOps. One of the essential difficulties in a framework configuration procedure is the capacity to inspire the right and fundamental framework requirements from the partners and indicate them in a way justifiable to them so those requirements can be checked and approved. Information and procedure models, necessity particulars. Comprehended by fashioners however not by users. Prompts degree creep, plan creep, cost overwhelms. A use case is a depiction of typical and anomalous conditions and well-ordered interactions between a framework and entertainers in its condition. A use case model incorporates use case depiction, entertainers, actors, connections. A connection between an entertainer and a use case catches the way that the on-screen character takes an interest in the use case. A use case graph shows use case names, pre- and post-conditions, entertainers, connections among on-screen characters and use cases, and connections between use cases. Incorporate and expand a relationship. Gain proficiency with the advantages of requirements engineering and use case modeling at the workshop. Gives an apparatus to catching functional requirements. Helps with breaking down framework scope into progressively reasonable pieces. Furnishes a methods for speaking with users and different partners concerning framework usefulness in a language that is effectively comprehended. Gives a methods for distinguishing, relegating, following, controlling, and the board framework advancement exercises, particularly gradual and iterative improvement. Gives a guide in assessing venture extension, exertion, and calendar. Gives a standard to testing as far as characterizing test plans and experiments. Gives a pattern to user help frameworks and manuals just as framework improvement documentation. Gives an instrument to requirements recognizability. Gives a beginning stage to the idea of information items or elements. Gives utilitarian determinations to planning user and framework interfaces and more. Course agenda. Requirements Engineering by Use Case Analysis. Definition of Requirements Analysis. Requirements Engineering with Use Case Modeling. User-centered development and use case modeling. Use case-driven analysis and requirements engineering. Use case-driven approach to requirements engineering process. Request more information regarding Requirements Engineering Workshop with Use Cases. Visit tonex.com for course detail.